The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series returns to Speed Channel next Friday night on Speed, under the lights for the first time. Joining Rick Allen, Michael Waltrip will be up in the booth, and Phil Parsons, and our guy on pit road today, Ray Dunlap, will also be there. All the action from the World Center of Racing, Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed Channel, as it is all year long. Jeff Kendall finds himself out front here at Daytona after a very lengthy caution. Ed Kennedy spun. A bunch of debris on the racetrack after that. Lindsay, what do you got for us?
Okay. You know, what we're hearing here is we're in the 64 pit, and basically came in here. I'm just being told that they changed 2 tires, but apparently a jack had fallen or was dropped previously, and so the problem with that was that you can see now track position has been spared a little bit.
There's Chad Blunt trying to win this race. He competed full-time in the ARCA RE Series a couple years ago and was battling Frank Kimmel for that championship.
Got right down towards the end. Came up a little sharp.
A Rookie of the Year here in the ARCA RE Series. Going green once again. How long is Jeff Kendall going to stay out there?
We'll just have to see. You know, I don't... got Andy Hillenberg right behind him. Don't know how good Andy's car is today. But like I say, everybody's going to want to stay in line just for a little bit at the start here.
Let's take a look at the top 5. Brent Sherman coming down pit road, actually driving right through. He made a pit stop just a short time ago. But the top 5, Jeff Kendall, Andy Hillenberg, as Schrader just mentioned, Jason Jarrett in the Bennigans, number 67. He started way back there. Paul Menard has worked his way back up to 4th, and Frank Kimmel in the Pork, the other white meat car, is 5th.
Yeah, and we've got some good cars. Clint Boyer is right there, and Eric McClure is right there, so they're gonna be coming quick.
You know, I think a lot of these Cup teams are really looking at the ARCA RE Series to try to give their younger talent some experience, especially at places like Daytona here.
Well, the guys are in this series are getting so much more experience, and they're running so much better with the equipment they got that you know, they're really able to showcase their skills now in front of the Nextel Cup owners.
Somebody just rubbed the outside wall there. Can't quite find out who it is. Oh, that is some tough trouble for the number 26 of Brad Smith. Some big-time front fender trouble for him, the ARCA RE Series regular.
Yeah, you know, usually stuff just doesn't happen like that without you seeing it, but we did see a little bit of smoke, and we saw Brent Sherman come down pit road on the restart. So there might be more to that story there.
Take a look who is 3rd, Clint Boyer. That there is a Bobby Gerhart car with an RCR engine, and the RCR crew is actually crewing that car here today. The crew chief is Ricky Vyers. Ricky is a crew chief in the in the Busch Series for the RCR stables. And Clint Boyer, man, what a break for him. He's IMCA modified racing last year, and also super late model racing out there in the Midwest, and now he's in.
But he was winning a lot on the dirt and the pavement. I-70 in Odessa, Missouri on the pavement, and Lakeside Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas on the dirt. And I raced against Clint and Ricky Vyers 2 weeks ago out of Phoenix, and they ran extremely strong. So, you know, he will be a force to be reckoned with this summer over in that Busch car at RCR. You
know, National Speed Sport News have read that for a long time. Read a lot about Clint Boyer, but it wasn't until I went to Lakeside last year and I met up with a guy whose nickname is Dirty Dan, and he told me all about Clint Boyer. He said he was the baddest race car driver in the land.
One thing we just see, if you look in that group, up to 8th place would be Kyle Busch from a lap down.
Wow. Jason Jarrett started 3rd on that restart, but he is already filing back. Jason has said, I just don't have a good car this weekend. I don't know why. It's been a real struggle, but I'm sure that team will get it fixed by the time we head to the next race.
Yeah, and I tell you what, our poor old snake-bit Daytona veteran Frank Kimmel is going to come around and lead the halfway lap. Or no, it'd be one more lap, but lead the halfway lap for this ARCA RE race. So here we are at Daytona, and Frank's adding to his not many laps led. So I think he's got a good car today.
He could be going for his first Daytona, 500, the ARCA RE Series win here at Daytona. Right now, Kimmel out front, Boyer second, Eric McClure in in the third spot, and of course that has a little connection to the Cup side as well.
Yeah, more than a little bit. That car's run out of the Morgan McClure stables and won a couple years ago. I believe it was at Talladega. Eric wasn't in it, but that car has won. They're obviously winners here, multi-time Daytona 500 champions, and won in the ARCA Series too.
Billy Venturini, we followed his progress all day long. You could see him there in that blue number 25, the Melling car. He is right in front of Kyle Busch, but he has progressed steadily to the front here and could be in contention at the end of this race.
He will be in contention like he knew he would be.
He's got an 02 Pontiac, and the 02 Pontiac here, maybe not as quick on single car runs as the rest of them, but it looks pretty good in the draft.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, the 02 Pontiac though has been pretty much a car of choice here. I think is what Mr. Bell help me here. Our pulsar Bobby Gerhart was running for so long here.
Exactly, but they added a little bit of spoiler to the 02 Pontiacs, and I know that brigade has been pretty ticked off this weekend. They felt it was an unfair shake, but hey, it is what it is, and whoa, we got some great racing going on here. Paul Menard in there at the back, Bobby Gerhart in the Lucas Oil 5, and Dan Shaver right there in the number 49, and his teammate in the Petro Express number 23, one of the ARCA regulars, Ron Cox.
Ron, runs good at all the tracks. Their program, especially in the Speedway, has really been upgraded over the last couple of years. Going back to that 02 Pontiac, one thing that ARCA does, along with NASCAR, is they will tweak rules like that when one make comes up with a little bit too much of advantage, and that's really a lot of that is because of expense. They'll keep everybody from going and cutting bodies off these cars and putting older Pontiac bodies on them, and just try to keep it an equal playing field, and it winds up everybody saving a little bit of money.
Now you got to wonder too, of course, Kyle is getting a little experience here on the big track, but is that helping them for their Cup racing here in the next week or so?
Well, I don't know how much it's helping him, but it's definitely helping Kyle for his run here when he gets in the Busch car next week.
Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, you were talking about Clint Boyer there in that number 7 car. Well, guess what? That car is actually an original first-generation Hendrick Motorsports car. That's where Gerhart bought it from years ago. That car came out, went to Victory Lane here in 1999. It's called Old Dusty, and they really like that car. Gerhart rented that to Richard Childress, but that's how funny this series is. A Richard Childress engine in an old Hendrick car.
And that's the car that he won with in 1999. You see Billy Venturini go below the yellow line, and that allows Kyle Busch to sneak up along the outside.
Yeah, it's we're just a little over halfway here. I don't know if it's time to be playing with that yellow line too much yet or not, but let's head for it. Everybody wants to race.
Busch sneaks past Clint Boyer now into the second spot, so that man is on a mission. I say man, he's a kid at 18 years old. There is Bobby Gerhart, our pole sitter, and he calls that car, Ray Dunlap was talking about nicknames on cars. Well, that one is called Sweet Bee, and I said, Bobby, why Sweet Bee? He goes, if you look at the speed charts, it's always sweet. He's got a road course car. You know how people nickname cars?
Yeah.
It's called Elton John. You know why?
No.
It goes both ways.
Oh, that's... Okay.
Battle for the lead. Frank Kimmel and Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer right there in the number 7, and Billy Venturini just beyond that. Ryan Hemphill has snuck back into the top 5 in the number 77. A look out the back of Frank Kimmel. Now we rejoin the field. Top 5 are kind of breaking away a little bit.
Yeah, actually, got away a little bit. This ought to let that second group close back up a little bit.